Commission
コミッショナー宣言。
ただいまから行われます WBC11 月7日一般財団法人日本ボクシングコミッションコミッショナー城真二。
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Bantamweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by Camosa AG and sanctioned by the WBC President Mauricio Suleiman, Supervisor at ringside Miguel Angel de Pablos. Your three judges scoring this contest at ringside will be from Korea, Junbei Lim. From the United States, Alejandro Rochin. Also from the United States, David Sutherland. And the referee in charge when the bell sounds from Canada is Len Coy-Visto. Introducing first, fighting to my right. He comes in wearing white trunks trimmed with red. Weighing in officially at 117 1/2 pounds. The champion brings an undefeated record consisting of 16 wins, a dozen of those coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Bangladesh, Saint Denis, France. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the reigning and defending WBC Bantamweight Champion of the World, Nordine Ouali. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the black and green, weighing in officially at 118 pounds. He's also perfect, 13 wins, 3 of those coming by way of knockouts. Fighting out of Yokohama, Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Takuma Inoue. Here is referee in charge, Len Coy-Visto, for the instructions.
Pick the coat up.
Good evening, gentlemen. Both these trunks are a little bit high. I'm not going to call anything right on the top of the belt line. Try to keep your punches all above there. Professional contest, respect the rules, follow my instructions, and above all else, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves now, and good luck to both you guys.
Well, so many brothers over the years have held world titles. Takuma there, after the Inoue family, will be hoping to add himself to that list. We saw the Charlos do it recently, many in history, the Shigiani brothers too, of course, the Klitschko's. Can the Inoue brothers become the latest pair of siblings to add their name to the world title list? Nordine Ouali will have something to say about that. The 33-year-old French southpaw in the white shorts trimmed with red, explosive puncher, always comes in terrific condition, and he will be taking no prisoners as always to hang on to his title.
Really looking forward to this one, Chris. There's so many variables to look at there. For me, for Takuma Inoue, you know, how good is he? Hasn't fought at the level of Ouali, who for me is a good, rugged champion. Very strong, he's an aggressive southpaw, has a good defence, tidy work, doesn't waste much. It's going to be a good scrap.
It's a WBC eliminator against the talented Thai CP Freshmark, where Inoue showed some of those trap setting skills that his brother has become well known for too. Freshmark as well was a southpaw, just came in a bit too straighter lines and gave Inoue the counter punch opportunities. So far here though, he's just getting off the line and countering with nice angles.
I didn't expect Takuma Inoue to hold the centre of the ring as easy as he is at the start of this contest. I thought Ouali would come forward, as we see against Rashid Warren, he was very comfortable on the front foot, though he is on the back foot, but he likes to dictate from the centre of the ring. He's not been able to so far. Quick, snappy shots from Takuma Inoue. It's a nice positive start.
Inoue has arguably got stronger and better with each contest that's passed, and always a difficult comparison when you've got a brother who's arguably the world's pound-for-pound best puncher, but doesn't mean he can't punch. His record may suggest that there is a lack of power there, but a lot of fighters he's taken to unanimous decision, he's hurt or put down along the way, and he looks physically stronger in every single fight, and form is anything to go by. That's only going to improve as time goes on, and as you say, Darren, right now behind that jab, he's holding centre ring.
He isn't looking very comfortable at the minute. Abali, when I've watched him before, does sometimes take a few rounds to get going. Might be the case here. But in a contest of this magnitude, he'll know you don't want to be giving rounds away early. They're both well evenly matched. So it could come down to the scorecards.
You just feel that counter left hook for Inoue could be the key for him tonight if he can adjust the range and set it up. See him taking his feet back when Abali commits there as he does and counters with the left hook right hand on cue.
That was lovely, snappy counter punching there, and again, lovely right hand. It's been a good positive start from Takuma Inoue here. Good round.
And again, back on the jab. At centre ring, Villanueva couldn't make those adjustments. A come forward fighter of his strength and explosivity, but Takuma Inoue already doing a better job. You see those lateral movements, little steps to the outside, and again down, as you say, keeping that distance behind him in order to try and set those traps.
Absolutely, you always want to give yourself space. You don't want to get backed up. Your feet are so important in boxing to be able to get into range and out of range. Inoue does it so well, as does his brother.
Barley just the war of the front hands as he tries to feint Inoue back and just landed a left hand as he came forwards.
This is better from Abali. I think his corner may have said, you know, you need to get going. Don't give any rounds away. Like I said, he is guilty at times of starting slowly, so he's going to have to get going now. And this is better. He's trying to hold the centre of the ring. There's a battle now going on for that centre part of the ring there. And again, Takuma Inoue gets Abali back onto his back foot.
And of course, Darren, we know that in nip and tuck fights, as this has the feeling it might be, the champion can sometimes be favoured, but of course we must remember that he's the away fighter tonight in there. And the crowd will be cheering when Takuma Inoue lands big shots. That's going to have a subliminal impact on the judges. And this is close.
It is close. I don't think any of that's going to fade. More off balance there from Abali.
There's a nice little short uppercut to the body as he stepped in.
Yeah, Abali won't be fazed by this. You know, he travelled over to Las Vegas to take on Rashid Warren, then Kazakhstan. So starting to turn out into a bit of a road warrior. So I don't think the crowd or the magnitude of the occasion, you know, he is the champion. I don't think any of that's going to faze him. Just got to keep trying to push Inoue back. At the minute, Inoue's working really well behind that jab.
He uses it like his brother in so many different ways as a distance and range finder, something to establish himself at centre ring. Just for the first time though, he's been pushed back onto the ropes and he's picked his shots intelligently at range, and so he's looking for that left hand exit, which is sensible against the southpaw. He's trying to check hook his way in, but Abali caught him there. The best shot that he's landed of the fight so far.
Yeah, this is good stuff from Abali now, starting to push Inoue back. A lot more positive. He does definitely carry the power in this contest, as we can see there. But Inoue still trying to land these clever, smart counter punches. Seen some nice little short uppercuts go in. Backhand rights. Good round. Good, better stuff from Abali this round.
You can see where he wants to.
We'll see here, I think this was early in the round. That was a good shot, body shot from Inoue there. It was off balance there, he wasn't hurt from the shot.
It's the part, not so for Shingo. He'll be straight back into the dressing room where Naoya will be patiently waiting ahead of the Super Series final up after this.
again.
Back at centre ring.
Yeah, both battling again for the centre of that ring. Nue, previous 2 rounds, has managed to find the centre of the ring first, and Abali again gets into it as the round gets going. Very well evenly matched. It's a good contest. The concentration levels on both have to be spot on. Switch off for a second here. You that was a lovely counter right from Nue. No power in it, but he managed to find the top of the head of Abali.
That was his money punch against CP Freshmart in the WBC Eliminator about a year ago. Able to walk him onto that will not be so easy against Abali, who, to be fair, moves in and out a little better, and that's all part of the amateur schooling. 2 Olympic Games he went to, had a very, very good amateur career, only really coming unstuck against the best in the world at the top of the international amateur level, and he's transitioned very, very nicely as a pro. But at 33, Darren, his days at the very, very top level will be numbered, and would he love to get through this and secure a big money fight to get Inoue, and he's landed a good southpaw right hook there. Right hand has wobbled. Takuma Inoue backs him into the ropes, and he just pushed him back through sheer force. Lead uppercut lands as well. And the younger brother, for the first time in his career now, in a spot to bother, tries to get out and exit to the left-hand side and get back to centre ring. Abali not yet pressing the action. Doesn't know quite how hurt the man in front of him is yet, Darren.
No, but there's that power from Abali now. He's got going, he's started to plant his feet, and he found the chin with a lovely left hand. Good work, good positive stuff.
Check left hook there from Takuma Inoue. 55 seconds on the clock. It looked ominous for a moment, but he seems to have ridden out the early storm. Just pot shots with a right hand as the 2 of them again jostle for position at centre ring. First crisis of his career against a bona fide world champion, a big puncher too, and he dealt with it pretty well.
Yeah, he has. He's regrouped. Good right hand there. He does an awful lot of good work, Inoue, when he's not throwing shots, always getting Abali thinking. You see, he's quite jittery. That does take a lot out of an opponent at times. You know, you're making them think an awful lot. But yeah, he's regrouped well, but that was a good shot from Abali.
Certainly enough to win him the round, the champion. He's just growing into this one, as you said, traditionally slow starter.
There's nothing to really worry about. That was a good right lead hook, and he set that up with a body shot, and there's a lovely left hand. Credit to Inoue, he sort of took the sting out of the shot. You see there, he's almost leaning back, but that was the problem with him falling off balance, because he'd put all his weight onto his back foot. Good right uppercut, followed by the left hand, and like you say, the first crisis of his career, but he's taken it well. He got back into the fight, but there's definitely an Abali round there.
Just looking at some of so round number 4 then. Abali in the white trunks, the champion. Takuma Inoue, the challenger, in the black and green, hair to match. Right hand to the body. Abali against Villanueva in his first defence just created tentativity over a period of time that had Villanueva eventually backtracking to a point where the corner pulled him out in between rounds 6 and 7. I'd like to think that Inoue will be made of sterner stuff, but when you get hit hard, that can change a game plan.
Yeah, this is a very, very positive start from Abali in this 4th round. Come out with real intent. He knows he can hurt his opponent now and really start to plant his feet and let some big shots go, head and body. Inoue's got to stay switched on, keep poking that jab out, doesn't want to pour it out like he did there, because Abali's quick enough to counter that, so he's got to stay switched on, but good positive start from Abali.
Just the 1-2 partially blocked from Takuma Inoue, jabs, and wants to step off to his left-hand side, moving clockwise, avoiding that big left hand that caught him in the last round so cleanly. This is where Abali wants to try and get off his best work. Just glanced the left hand, and Inoue responded with a short right, gets himself a little bit more space. Check left hook. It's aggressive, but it's tactical stuff too, Darren. They're both thinking their way through this.
Yeah, Abali's really making Inoue work with the pressure with his feet. So important that Inoue gives himself space behind him. Doesn't want to get back onto the ropes and allow Abali to let his big shots go. Wants to keep moving, keep popping out that jab that we've seen there. It's a lovely shot. Really does have quick hands, Inoue. Really got to rely on them now. It's a good counter right hand as well.
He exits to the left that time. It's an exit that Ubali's managed to shut off most of the contest so far. Seen Inoue operate against southpaw before. He knows the game plan when he's backed onto the ropes. Look for that check left hook, move on to the left.
Oh, big shot.
Big left hand of his own. Down for the first time in his career. Takuma Inoue all at sea. But he opens up his eyes, looks down at his father Shingo, and he's on his feet to an ovation from the crowd. Big round this for Nordine Ubali. Will he put his foot on the gas, Darren? Just signs he's starting to hunt, and Inoue just for the moment in survival mode.
Yeah, very aggressive with his feet down, really trying to close the gap. Credit to Inoue, he took that well, he got back up to his feet, trying to survive, but it was a lovely left hand from Ubali. Really growing into this contest, really starting to believe in himself. Good stuff, really good stuff.
Well, his older brother considered the puncher in this division, but Ubali not far behind him from what we see.
Desperate at all. He had his man on the rope, but there you see, jab to the body, comes straight over with a left hand to the head. We were talking about that earlier, something his brother does so well. Takuma's brother does so well. But there we see Ubali, textbook that was, honestly, it was really good. Jab to the body.
The ticket. But is this just a case of man against boy in the ring tonight? There's 10 years between them. Ubali after a cagey opener and starting to be the boss of this one.
Yeah, you're right there. It is almost man v boy. That was a good right uppercut from Inoue there. But again, Ubali so confident at the minute, walking forward, letting big shots go, planting his feet. I think it is a case of finding that man strength for Inoue. There's an awful lot to like with him. You know, he does have quick hands, good foot movement, great reactions. But right now, he's just coming second best, and it's down to that power that Ubali carries.
Just hasn't been able to walk Ubali onto too many of those counter straight right hands that sure was a big part of the game plan. And when he has done, just hasn't had the effect that has been required. And power isn't everything in boxing, Darren, but this is the one occasion where having that natural pop that his older brother possesses can come in real handy when you've got an opponent that you need to provide with some sort of heavy artillery to act as a deterrent. He just hasn't got that.
Exactly. You want that shot to be able to keep your opponent off in a 12-round contest like this. But this is good work from Ubali here. He's back to Inoue onto the ropes, got him into the corner now. Really starting to let his big shots go. Inoue needs to get out there, needs to try and work his way back to the centre of the ring, get behind that jab, get space. This is better. Wants to be here, needs to allow space behind him. He doesn't want to get backed up because that's when Ubali does his best work.
Ubali almost let him off there, had him pinned into the corner, and just voluntarily took a step back. Open scoring for this one, of course. Jim Bailin 38-37, Alejandro Machine 39-36, David Sutherland 40-35, all in favour of Nordine Ubali, the champion. That's tallies with what we're seeing now.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I think this will only get better for Ubali as well. I think as the rounds go on, if they do so, I think the snap may fade, may leave the offence of Inoue, and that will allow Ubali to slot back in Inoue up into the corner. But this is positive stuff. This is where Inoue needs to be. He needs to hold the centre of the ring.
Nice head and foot movement there to evade the oncoming attack. At some point, we know in their mid-30s fighters do start to fade. It doesn't look like that.
Oh,
Ubali, but
shot.
Inoue comes back with a really nice combination. First positive signs for him in a good round and a half of action where he's been under the cosh for most of it. That will be something to hang on to going into the break. There's a mouse under the right.
Because once Ubali gets him backed up, as we can see here, he does let some good shots go. But Inoue there landed his own right hand on the back foot. This is where he doesn't want to be, Inoue. Doesn't want to be backed up. This is good body work, went in from Ubali here, but that was a good left hook. It was a good round from Inoue. He answered some questions there, definitely.
He covered enough just to provide a little bar, and I wonder whether his brother will be watching this backstage. You can bet he is.
Yeah, definitely. Usually in their dressing rooms you do have live scenes on live action in there. I'm sure he'll be glued to this.
Barley just commits so much when he comes forward. Screams in, corkscrew uppercut with the lead hand there. And just the look of a fighter that's relaxed and growing in confidence with each round that passes.
Still, really having to think his way in a Barley. If he does get clumsy and does fall short over his front foot, you'll be sure that Inoue will counter you with a quick right hand or left hook. It just doesn't carry that power that we've touched on, so it allows Barley to come forward.
Again, a scoring shot with a right hand that was largely ineffective, that if Barley just rode back well, the crowd may cheer. It's not changing the pattern of the fight. Can Takuma Inoue find an adjustment here in the middle rounds? Nice jab.
Again, credit to Inoue. He's willing to exchange with a Barley. I wouldn't say it's the best advice, best tactics. Rather him get behind the jab, but I can't question his heart.
Again, those 1-2s just look like they're bouncing off the head of the champion with almost no effect, but the reverse is opposite. When Barley lands that left hand, he flings Inoue backwards. Impactful, hurtful shots, and that's what the judges will be scoring in these exchanges.
He's answered a lot of questions here, Inoue, about his personality, about his heart. He's really answered those questions. He has, after that 4th round knockdown, he's come back. It's been 2 positive rounds from him.
You should forget his age too, 23, challenging for your first world title. The man in front of you didn't do so until 32 earlier on this year. Lots of promise for Takuma Inoue, regardless of tonight's outcome. If he comes off second best, there will be plenty ahead for him.
And a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders here. The home fans really desperate for a double Inoue win. So he's, for a young man, quite a lot to deal with. Credit to him, he's boxing nicely at times, but Barley in control.
Just wonder how well Ndini Barley would have fared in the main 118-pound tournament if his form this year has been to the second half of the fight. We talked about the Inoue's putting their name on the map this evening. Ndini Barley, he's a man that, not a household name you would say outside of the hardcore fans, but with a performance like this, of course, the narrative could well be that revenge is on the cards if he has his hand raised at the end of this one for older brother Naoya, assuming he gets through the Super Series final tonight. Could those two meet at bantamweight down the line? It'd be a scintillating clash given what we're watching at the moment.
It would indeed. I fancy Takuma's brother there, just because I've seen, he has been caught with a few, and with the power that Inoue does carry, I think we can see a good victory for him. But I've been impressed with Barley. Very, very good boxer, quick hands, he's aggressive, throws that left to the body really well, head and body, doesn't fall short that often. Very composed and compact.
Riding those shots well, just taking the sting out of them, but also not taking his feet back too much even now, just doing everything that he's doing on his own terms, not being pushed back involuntarily. And often we'll see fighters that are in control of the contest just take a little bit of a dip in output, take a walk in round 7 and 8 to gather the second win for the later rounds. He has just slowed his output slightly here, but that's too much of an issue. Takuma Inoue lands a jab.
Yeah, there's not been a great deal in the last couple of rounds. I'd like to see Barley get back to work, stop trying to push Inoue back, and kind of content just sort of hovering around the centre of the ring instead of pushing Inoue back. But again, I don't want to discredit any of the work that Inoue is doing. You know, he's really bounced back well after the knockdown. Positive stuff, working well behind the jab. Been finding some lovely counter right hands. Got to do a little bit more work from here, Chris. Work from the centre ring, let the punches go in bunches, 2s, 3s, 4s. Really get Bali to start thinking.
Every time Inoue does land a single counter, he is countered himself in combinations, and that's got to be off-putting and difficult to deal with. One thing you can say about Ibali, he's maintained some of the facets that made him such a good amateur. Nice in and out movement. His feet a little flatter in this round than they have been in previous rounds, but that's because it's been a high work rate fight. But the way he dips in and out of range, keeps the head moving, it's got the feel of that amateur style that saw him have so much success in the noughties before he turned over some 5 years ago. 33, hanging on to that style, combining it with the natural power and aggression, the physicality that he has, is making him
like. But there is also a lot to like from Takuma Inoue. You know, his heart is definitely one off down. He's regrouped, he's recovered, and he's landed some good shots there. We see a counter left hook on the back foot.
Cat and mouse. And one reached the finish line. Can the other stop him doing so?
This is a big round. This really is. For me, like I say, Inoue worked his way back into this contest after that knockdown. He really has. He's boxed well on the back foot. So Abadi has to respond now. He really does. He needs to start getting aggressive, start pushing Inoue back, as we can see. Start letting his shots go, because he has switched off slightly in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, certainly had the feel of Ibali taking a round off in 7, just letting the pace drop. Perhaps he's gathered himself, and already he started faster and more aggressively. His posture is indicative of that start of the 8th.
A lot of mind games go on in a 12-round contest, Chris. You know, one of them being that you never want to give your opponent the upper hand. You know, when you've knocked your opponent down, you don't want to let them get back into the fight. So though there may be a question or a case that he was taking a round off, it's something I never would want to do. I'd never want to get my opponent's confidence up. I want to keep them at rock bottom and to work away. But Inoue has really worked back well into this contest.
Absolutely right, because of course while you take a break, your opponent gets one too, and signs that they've both gathered themselves for perhaps the long haul here. His lead hands coming together again, and Inoue, on a rare occasion, holds centre ring, pushes Ubali back, counters with a right left to the body.
I've really been impressed with the jab of Inoue. It's very difficult to out-jab a southpaw. You're always battling to get your foot on the outside, to try and get your jab over their lead hand, but he's had a knack of going on the outside with the jab and in the inside with the jab. It's a shot he's worked really well with. It just doesn't carry the power in it, as we've seen with some fighters with a real ramrod jab. He doesn't have that power, so it's more of a snappy scoring shot. Oh, good left hand from Abadi there.
Well, and as always is the case, the left hand lands flush, it hurts the man on your screen there. Maybe just got lucky that Ubali got his glove caught up in the straps that line those ropes in the centre of the ring. Just gave him a brief moment to gather himself. Taking his feet back that time, coming back with a right hand left uppercut. And he's having to work really hard not to be overawed here. Leaping left hook lands, but every time he lands, Darren, Ubali comes back with something heavier artillery.
He does. I think almost Ubali is almost best off planting his feet and exchanging with Inoue, knowing full well he carries the power. But his good boxing brain stops him from doing that.
As you say, he's been patient in this breakdown of the challenger. He really has boxed like a champion tonight after a fast start. Inoue's much on the line for the Ubali family too, and so far so good for the French champion. Into round 9 then.
See Inoue trying to hold the centre of the ring. I think he knows he's behind on the cards. Corner may have said something to him. He's got to let his hands go. Doesn't want to do anything silly, because Ubali does carry the power. There's a lovely left to the body from Inoue. I think he's got to start letting his hands go. doesn't necessarily have to throw him in 4s and 5s, but he can go in different phases. 2, then 2 again, 2 again. Just needs to start letting his hands go. He wants to try and get this closer on the scorecards.
To start, Minue just moves his head well, steps off to the side, blocks the straight left hand from Ubali. Swelling under the right eye of the challenger, just subtle signs that that left hand has been getting through on occasion, and it has, and when it has done so, it's been dangerous. Have a look at these scores through 8 rounds. Junbei Lin 77-74, Alejandro Rushin 79-72, and Sutherland 80-71. They're getting wider down, all in favour of the champion.
Yeah, definitely got Ubali in front. Maybe not as wide as that. I thought Inoue did reasonably well in the last couple of rounds. But we've seen it. I think his corner has said to him, he's got to get to work now. The fight is starting to slip away from you.
Just feeling that maybe he's going to have to take a risk and throw the kitchen sink at Ubali at some point, and maybe risk getting taken out himself. But that's the price of glory in high stakes fights like this.
Absolutely. You have to leave it all in the ring, put it all on the line. And we've touched on it before, the only worry with doing that is the lack of power, and the fact that Ubali does carry power, has great reflexes, so to exchange with someone who carries power like Ubali is a very dangerous move. But what do you do, when it's not going your way? You have to try and change something, have to try and throw the kitchen sink at your opponent.
Ubali measuring with that southpaw jab, waiting for the counter, leads off that time. Response to the body from Inoue, good work from him, got a short choppy shot in upstairs too.
Pushing Ubali back is Inoue, but just not letting his hands go.
You get the impression that, as you say, if he were to hurt the champion, it would be through volume rather than from a single shot. But as you say, just not throwing enough at this point.
The fact that he has mixed it with a seasoned world champion, a good world champion, a very good boxer, and he hasn't looked completely out of place. Though he's behind on the scorecards, a lot of the rounds have been close, not been extremely wide, bar the knockdown.
Nice counter, left uppercut on the inside as Ubali overcommitted that time. Now Inoue just trying to up his work rate too. Must know he needs something special in these championship rounds, and that's why they called them. Can so often be crucial to a fight. Can he find something to flip this contest on its head? Ubali is the high work rate that he's set at the age of 33 just starting to set in, or will he continue his output? This is as competitive as it's been so far.
Well, there's the flip side with the age, Chris. Though he is young, 23, Takuma Inoue, inexperienced. Ubali has the miles on the clock. He's 33. Is he feeling the pace? Certainly Inoue is the fresher man, so now, put it on the line. Let it go, let your shots go. That was a lovely right hand. Really took the space away from Ubali. Step back, good counter right hand. Good stuff.
Yeah, anticipated that left hand, took the step off and pushed that right hand down the pipe and does it again. Just covers up on the ropes. Probably winning this round so far, Inoue. But he needs a knockdown, maybe two, to have any chance of bringing this one close in the next couple of rounds, and he's got to win the next 2 rounds after this as well, and he's got to win them clear.
Yeah, it's just the lack of power. You can't foresee the knockdown, can you? Because it doesn't carry that power at all. There's lots of snap still in his shots. Never once worried Ubali. Of all the rounds so far, this is the round to me, whether he's feeling the pace or not, that Ubali seems to have taken a round off, not doing a great deal, just happy to move around the ring. He knows he's got a comfortable, healthy lead, not taking any chances, not rushing in. taking some deep breaths. Happy to allow Inoue to come forward. Inoue round for me.
He's let his hands go more than in previous rounds, maybe just sensing the power of Ubali starting. And while there's much change in the bantamweight landscape, those time in the final, Nordine Ubali looks to be on his way to victory in Japan, barring something special from the younger Inoue. Into round 11 we go then.
Very impressed. I said it before with the heart of Inoue. To come back after the knockdown. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a huge, devastating blow, but it was a good left hand that put Inoue down, and he's come back, he's rallied back. He hasn't won a lot of the rounds, far from it, but he's still been there, he's still been trying to force the action, especially in these later championship rounds.
Remember the difference between Charlie Edwards and the Casimero, Christopher Rosales fights. He just took that a little bit too early and learnt a few lessons, and well, the difference 3 or 4 years later as an older man with that adult strength paid dividends, and he looked a different fighter. No doubt that if Takuma Inoue doesn't come through this, we'll see him back as champion at some point.
That's a great example, Chris. It really does. You know, it's not only developing your strength, your skills, that experience, being in there with a world champ. You know, I had the same experience with Sergio Martinez many moons ago. It brought me on leaps and bounds. You know, not only physically, but it helps you mentally. And I'm sure Inoue, after this contest, though there's still a round and a half to go, will learn an awful lot. You know, I've been impressed with what I've seen. You know, there is an awful lot tonight. He's very quick, footwork's brilliant. You know, his boxing is fantastic, you know, on the back foot. But just being outman, sorry, you know, by Ubali, just that experience is starting to show.
Yeah, the trap setting just hasn't really borne fruit for the young challenger in there this evening, though. He's holding centre ring, he's trying to force the issue as much as he can. Ubali now content to just take a back step and bring Inoue onto some shots, does so there, and a short right hook leaping forwards. Just fighting now, a little burst and rage, getting his breath back, comes in, works and then steps off. Really smart stuff from the champion.
Yeah, I'd like to see the older Inoue in with Ubali. I think it's a great contest, but one where I think Inoue, with his power, would win that one. But this has been a good contest. I've enjoyed this from the start, really has been.
Just a few seconds. A learning fight at world level for Takuma Inoue against the seasoned, strong and intelligent champion in Nordine Ubali, who, bar 2 or 3 rounds, has really been the boss this evening. And now they go to work again. Ubali content to just dictate range, step in and raid with attacks, step off again. And that left hook, straight left hand rather, has really been his money punch tonight. He found it early. It's caused problems.
I think when Ubali watches this contest back, I think he'll watch it and he'll be slightly disappointed with himself. You know, he has allowed Inoue back into this contest, you know, taken a couple of rounds off, he has switched off at times, he's allowed the smaller puncher, the inexperienced fighter to come forward.
As a fighter though, Darren, you know yourself, if you throw the kitchen sink at somebody and they are still there and you don't see any particular signs of them waning, you have to take that step off to preserve your engine. Walks into a stiff check right hook there.
Again, clash of heads there. Good action again, and Inoue found the short right hand, and it's good work. I think he's more off balance there, but he doesn't look a bit shaky, a bit wary of Bali, and he's happy to trade with Inoue.
A minute and 7 on the clock, and just signs that Nordine Bali, for the first time in the contest, is hurt here. It would be a huge upset given the pattern of the fight. What has Takuma Inoue got left here? 50 seconds on the clock. Wills himself forwards. Ubali is hurt. Eats a left hook. What a finish to an encounter that he's largely dominated. And he holds on for the first time in the contest.
The crowd are going wild here, really trying to rally their man on.
Oh, how Takuma Inoue wishes this had happened maybe a round earlier, or even with an extra minute on the clock. He's going for it here in Saitama. His brother will be watching this with bated breath. Left hook lands, the second one misses. And he comes forward again. Ubali now fires back, has his head cleared. What a way to warm the crowd up for the main event in Saitama. Both men missing now with wild hooks as the tank starts to empty. Well, he rode out the only crisis of the fight in the last minute, and it made for a brilliant finish to
Takuma Inoue. Though I feel he's lost the fight, he did rally back after that knockdown. In this final round, see it here, I think it was a short right hand that came up. It was a left hook actually. Stunned Ubali, there was the right hand. And Inoue knew he hurt his man, come in with another right hand. Again, it was just that lack of power, but still, the crowd at this point were going wild, and the heads did go in a couple of times in that round, but it was a great finish to a good contest.
120-107. David Sutherland has it 117-110, and June Lim scores about 115-112 for your winner by unanimous decision. And still, the WBC Bantamweight Champion of the World, Nordine Bali.